Good evening. My name is Cecilia and I am the owner of the Essential Toolbox, an avid essential oil user and a do-it-yourselfer. And tonight my class is do-it-yourself with essential oils. I started off doing things myself because I wanted to save money. I had a little budget, and the things that I could use in my home that were healthier for myself and my family were out of my budget. So I started doing some research, and I found some basic, easy, budget friendly things that I could use. And I started making cleaning products with them. And then I also, so they had to be cost effective. But the other thing was, when I started using essential oils, I naturally blended those into that. So I love the pre-made products that doTERRA has. I use a ton of them and I love them, but I also like doing it myself. It's fun. I have a good time doing it. I know what goes into the products that I have, and I can experiment with them and change them if I don't like them. If I want a different smell or I want more this or that, I can change it. So I'm still doing it to this day. And let's face it, a lot of people can't afford to buy products. They want to do the do-it-yourself because it is more cost effective in most situations. So today I'm going to demonstrate a variety of non-toxic, healthy substitutions for products that you probably already use in your home. And if you have any questions after this class, tomorrow, the next day, next week, about a recipe or a product that I've used or an essential oil that I've used, you can please feel free to contact me and I'd be more than happy to help you. I'm going to start today by making 2 items with 1 item that I have in my household. So I use doTERRA On Guard Cleaner Concentrate for a lot of things in my house, actually, but I'm just going to show you a few things, even though there are many more uses. So the first thing I'm going to make is a multi-purpose spray. And I have actually put the water in this bottle for time's sake. Nothing worse than watching somebody pour water in a bottle. It's kind of boring. So I made the handy dandy little label that says multi-purpose on it. And this is a 16-ounce bottle, and it cost about 91 cents to make. I use distilled water in these products. I have well water, and well water has a lot of minerals in it. And what happens when you use well water is that, or even city water, because it has a lot of chemicals in it, in a week you'll find floaters in these things. So I use it distilled, and that way I don't have that issue. So basically what I do is I take this and I measure 1.5 tablespoons of this cleaner concentrate, and I make a mess doing it. Good thing I brought a towel out with me. And that happens when you make this stuff. Sometimes it's just a little sloppy. And then you put it into the bottle, and then you put the lid back on. Tighten it up, and then you want to give it a nice shake because you've now introduced that new concentrate into there. So you give it a good shake, and then you have a 16-ounce bottle of cleaner concentrate. Okay, so good for countertops. You could use it in your microwave. You could use it in a lot of things. So this cost about 91 cents to make. I looked at a national chain website and I found a chain knockoff. So it was a generic, the cheapest one I could find. And they had 32 ounces for $1.97, which is 6.2 cents an ounce. And this one was 5.7 cents an ounce that I made. So it actually is a little bit cheaper. But if you use a name brand product, then the savings is going to be more substantial for you. Okay, so that's the first thing. And then the second thing that I actually make is a stain stick. I love this one. This one blew me away when I researched it. And I like to show people this because it's so cheap to make as opposed to buying. This is a 10 milliliter roller ball. This is actually what you use to make essential oil solutions with, and you roll them on. This is actually what you use a roller ball. We're just using it for laundry for our purposes. So I take the lid off and I'm going to take the cleaner concentrate and I'm just going to pour it into this bottle. Put the lid back on. Voila, there's your stain stick. I have these in my laundry cabinet. I also have a stick at work and I have one in my purse as well. Now these are 10 milliliters. You can get the shorter ones, 5 milliliters, where they're half the size and they're really, really portable. I just like this for me to travel with because it's easier to find in my purse. I have a lot of stuff in there and this is just easier to find. So when I researched this, this is the big shocker for me. I went onto the big box store website and this is 0.34 ounces. So it's basically a third of an ounce. And I found out that the portable ones that you can buy that you find in the store were $6.97 an ounce. This one costs 41 cents to make. So an ounce would be $1.23. So that's a huge savings. And you know what's in this. There's not a lot of chemicals in here, just one thing that you're using. So it's a good thing to make and it's quite cost effective. And over time, it does save you money. If you can keep the money in your pocket and out of theirs, it's a good thing. So staying in line with laundry products is something that I don't make, but that I buy. The most toxic item in your house are dryer sheets and fabric softeners, actually. The Consumer Product Safety Commission does not require dryer sheet manufacturers to list the actual ingredients on the boxes, including the chemicals used in fragrance. If you see fragrance on a package, run the other way. It is a word that's used to disguise a number of very harmful chemicals. So some air experts say that our inside air is actually dirtier than our outside air. And that's due to the fact that we use so many chemicals in our home. And if you think about it, besides the cleaning products, we use the fragrance blends for the dryer sheets and, the fabric softeners. Then we use candles, things we plug in the walls, other stuff that we spray, and they're all chemicals. And so this is one of the reasons why our air is so dirty in our house. Now, in 1976, they passed the Toxic Substances Act, and it was supposed to protect the consumer from harmful chemicals. And there's only one problem with that, is that at the time, all the chemicals that were in use were grandfathered in. So out of the 80,000 chemicals we have in use in the United States today, most of them have not been adequately tested for their effect on human health. That's sad. So we need to do the homework ourselves and be aware of that. So there was a study done in 2016 by a woman. Her name was Ann Steineman. She has a PhD. She was a civil and a structural engineer. And she wanted to measure dryer emissions from a dryer. She used a brand new dryer, organic towels, and she used fabric softeners and dryer sheets on them. And she was shocked at what she found. There were 7 hazardous air pollutants in there when she measured them, and there was 25 volatile organic compounds, some of which that are not safe at any level. So these laundry emissions go out into our air, they land on our ground, they get washed into our waterways. Not only that, they're in our home. And worst of all, they're on our clothes. They're on our clothes that we're putting on all day long. And we put on our kids and our grandkids that we sleep in. So if you were to replace anything in your household, this would be the thing to do. This is the one I would ask you to do. It's not expensive either. They are fairly cheap. One of the 2 of the chemicals that she found in there were chemicals that were found in car exhaust that is measured and regulated. That's pretty sad. One of them I looked up and I Googled and I got highly reactive and toxic, and it explained what it could do to a person if they were exposed to it. And I was like, why is this allowed in our things that we use? It's just not right. One of the things that they said was that it could cause an upset stomach. And it's funny because I used to smell dryer sheets and my stomach would become nauseous just automatically. I couldn't stand the smell of them. It was just horrible to me. Got my answer why there. So the thing that I use for dryer balls. These are organic wool dryer balls. I had heard about these and they said you need to get 6 for your, for them to work. And I was like, I'll just get 3. Being the cheapskate that I am, I want to see if they work. So I got the 3 and I used them for light loads. And what I did was I timed the loads of wash that I was drying. And I, to figure out if they were saving me money or not. And then I would do one without them and time it again. And they actually were saving me money, but there was no lint and no static. And I have 6 of them now. I actually did end up buying the other 3 because they work so well. These are my original 2, and I've had these for a few years. I actually had 3, but my grandchildren like to do laundry with me sometimes. Go figure, there's balls in there. And they took one and I can't find it. So I don't know where it is, but I did end up buying other ones. And you can see there's a little bit of difference in the color and then maybe the shape a little bit. But I saw somewhere when I did research on these that they last anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 loads, which is a lot of loads of laundry. So I figured out that an off-brand of dryer sheets was $240 for 2.3 cents each. So if you use one twice or a half of one, like a lot of people do, they would be 1.15, 1.2 cents a piece. So if these dryer balls last for a minimum of 1,500 loads, that means if you purchase them for $9 at 6 cents per load, it would, or I'm sorry, it would be 0.006 cents per load, 0.006. So it doesn't get any better than that. Someday I'm hoping that these will wear out so I can actually let you know how long they've lasted. But it's only my husband and I, but we do quite a bit of laundry and they're still going strong. I don't have any problem with them. Just make sure when you get them that you get the organic wool, because wool is, when they process it, they do use chemicals, harmful chemicals, and bleach as well. So you don't want to end up back into the same place that you were. So make sure, please, that you get those. But like I said, if there's anything you replace, please do this. These are $9 or $10 on Amazon, not expensive at all, pretty cheap. And you get your money back in your electric and the non-toxic smells in your home. So I use essential oils actually on them too. I figured out you could do that when I started using essential oils. I just take 1 or 2 balls and I'll put a drop on one and a drop on the other. I like to use lemon on them because lemon's very purifying. I love the smell. There's a blend that doTERRA has called Purify I'll use, and one that Balance is actually my favorite that I use on them. That's that. And speaking of Purify, I have a bottle of Purify here. I actually use this when I change my air conditioning filter. I take this and I drop 3 drops on the filter, and then I put the new one, put the filter back in. It's a mixture of lemon, lime, Siberian fir, melaleuca, cilantro, and citronella. So it's pretty strong. You don't need a whole lot of it, but it leaves your air smelling really fresh and clean. And if you're trying to get rid of unwanted odors in your house, this is a very good one to use. So I also put Purify on cotton balls that I put in my trash can. I might put 1 or 2 drops on each one. I can't stand it when I change a trash bag and it has that kind of trashy, moldy, kind of wet smell in there. So I use this to keep the smell down, and my trash cans smell great. So that's that. Another thing that you can do in your home is you can combine and use essential oils to rid yourself of unwanted odors or provide a relaxing or mood boosting atmosphere for pennies. I diffuse a lot. Okay. Here are some examples of oils and what they cost per drop. Okay. Lemon's 4.8, wild orange is 4 cents. Lime is 5.2. The Purify is 8 cents. Lavender is 9. I think fennel is 6. Peppermint is 8.8. So they vary, 6.8 for eucalyptus. Siberian fir is like one of my favorites, 8 cents a drop. So that diffuser it can run for up to 10 hours. So it will run 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off all night long. And if I put 4 drops of oil in it, say I use lavender at 9 cents a drop, that's 36 cents. So if I run it for 10 hours, that's 3.6 cents an hour. That's pretty cheap, very cost effective. Now you have to purchase a diffuser to do this, but the prices on Amazon and other places are very competitive on diffusers, and they can last a long time if you take care of them. I always recommend people clean their diffusers out regularly using a little bit of vinegar and some lemon essential oil, and run it for a half an hour, and then wipe out the inside carefully with a paper towel, getting in all the cracks and crevices. And when it needs to be cleaned, because you'll notice that the bottom, some of the creases will it looks like brown areas in it, and so it needs to be cleaned. I clean mine once a week without fail. I don't know, the cleaner the better. I'm diffusing, to smell in this wonderful scent, and I don't want dirt in it. So dirt or bacteria, that can go away. But just make sure you purchase pure oil also. Don't go to a chain store and spend $5 for a bottle of oil and expect that it's going to be real, because it's not going to be. Since oils are not regulated, people that make them can put anything they want in the bottle, anything they want on the bottle. They can put 100% pure, organic, whatever, but a lot of times that's not what's in there. Recently, there was an incident with an aromatherapy product, and there was a child that died from it. And that's sad. That just doesn't happen to happen. And it's a shame. But so you have to be really, really careful about that. The best thing for you to do is to develop a relationship with someone and buy oils from them, somebody that you trust, that you can get the correct information and guidance from, and know that you're getting a good, clean product. So the next thing I'm going to make is a window cleaner. Super simple to make. And I already put a cup of water and a cup of white vinegar in here. It's basic. Okay. But to this, so I don't have any streaks and I can eliminate any dirt, I'm going to add 10 drops of lemon essential oil. Okay. Slow coming out tonight. There we go. So there's 10 drops. Super simple. Put the lid on. Again, make sure that you shake it before you use it, because it has oil in it. So you want to make sure it gets mixed up really well, and spray, and you use that on your glass. Now, an alternative thing to do with this is leave out the lemon, just put in the cup of vinegar and the cup of water, and put in some glycerin. I use vegetable glycerin, and then you use it on your mirrors in your bathroom, and they won't fog up on you. It's a wonderful thing. I don't know how many times I found out about that, and I didn't do it right away. And I said, I gotta do that one day, because I got so tired. I get out of the shower and you can never see. I don't care how hard you wipe it off, you can't see. But this works really well with doing that. So it's about 91 cents to make that one. It was 4.4 cents an ounce for the vinegar, so 35 cents, and 8 cents for the distilled water, and 48 cents for the lemon, so 91 cents. So the cheapest store brand, generic, that I could find, 6.2 cents, a little savings there. But if, like I said before, if you're using the name brands, this can get more substantial. But again, I know what goes in there, and I can change it if I want to. If I don't like that smell, or I think something cleans better, I can put whatever I want in there. I can combine 2 things. So that's what I love about doing this. So using vinegar is a great, economically, environmentally friendly, and non-toxic way to clean your home. It cleans and deodorizes, so it's good for drains, for garbage disposals. You can use it for countertops. It's good on hard water stains and soap scum, so you can use it in your bathrooms, your sinks, your toilets, your showers, your tile. So it's great for a lot of things. It's also really effective in the kitchen too. And I use it in every load of wash that I do. I don't use a lot of it. Actually, when I first started doing it, I did use a lot of it. My clothes smelled like vinegar. I was like, oh, I think I did too much. You don't need that much of it. I add maybe a teaspoon for a little load and maybe a tablespoon for a bigger load. That's it. But it really does help with the stains. So you can also use it to help make your toilet sparkle and clean it. So you would use, it's a 2-to-1 ratio of baking soda to vinegar. And what I do is I put a half a cup of baking soda in the toilet, and then I add about 10 drops of tea tree oil, melaleuca, or you can use lemon, and then put a 1/4 cup of vinegar in there. And you wait till the vinegar reacts with the baking soda, and then you just start scrubbing. And then when you're done, you have a nice, clean, shiny, wonderful smelling toilet. It's great. So you can also do the same thing with your drains while you're at it. You're probably right beside there. Use that 2-to-1 mixture of baking soda and vinegar. And I put the baking soda in first, and then I put the vinegar in, and I go away for about 20 minutes. And I come back, and then I run the hot water for about 5 minutes in there. So it helps to keep your drains clear and your pipes clean as well. Lemon is another great essential oil cleaning product. It's a great surface cleaner, and it's great for cutting grease. It can be used for stains on your clothing or to remove labels from bottles if you recycle. And if you do it yourself, you're going to want to recycle glass. I never realized how many glass bottles and containers crossed my path until I started saving them. You'll get so many, you'll have to start throwing them out every now and then, like I do. I'm like, they're piled up. I'm like, oh no, you got to go. And they just go in the trash. But the good thing is you can recycle them. You're not throwing them away, you're recycling. But so anyway, the other thing that you want to save are lids. I've discovered a lot of things about lids. Lids are very, very similar on a lot of things. And a lot of them have the same size and the same thread. Like I have, let's see, this lid I got off a 32-ounce jar of mayonnaise. Okay. It fits this 8-ounce jar. Paul Mason makes a 32-ounce jar with a narrow. It fits that. It fits their 16-ounce jars. Guess what? You have to buy those lids anymore. And this was a jar of jelly that I got from somebody, and I needed a lid for it. And I looked at it and I went, and tried it. And sure enough, the lid works. So the lids can get costly on these Paul Mason jars. I have a lot of them, and they can get costly. So that's a good, if you save these, good replacement. This is another thing that I recycled. I recycled this because it has a picture of a mountain on it. Somebody left this water bottle at my house, and I had put it in the recycling bin, and then I took it out and I thought, wonder what I could do with that. So I had a sprayer that was on an old plastic spray bottle that I never used, and I just recycled the plastic and I kept this. So what I did was I cut the tubing to fit in here, and voila, it fit right on there. I use this every morning on my hair. I spray my hair down, and then I put my curl cream in it and do it all up. And voila, my hair's done for the day. But you could also use this for your window cleaner. So recycle that way. But there's a lot of things like that. You just have to start saving them and get into it, and you'll find them. It's great. There's money to be saved. You just have to get into it and look, and it's there. So the next thing I want to make is a hand cleaning product. I actually have a 2-ounce spray bottle. I'm going to open that up, and we're going to put in a teaspoon of aloe vera. If you're lucky enough to live in Florida, like I do, or somewhere else where you can grow an aloe vera plant, you can use your own aloe vera in this. And I normally do that. But for this tonight, we're going to use the jarred aloe vera. And it's a little bit thicker than the stuff I get off my plants, so I kind of have to play with it a little bit to get it down into the funnel. And then what I do is I pour water in there. Water here. I just fill the rest of the bottle up with water. See, this is the boring part. And then I take 5 drops of On Guard, which is the Protector blend, and I put that in there. There we go, 5 drops. And then I'm going to put this back on. Give it a good shake. And voila, you have a nice hand cleaner that you can take with you. So say you're out the dog park, your hands get dirty, can't clean your hands. Just spray your hands with this. Smells good to boot. So there you go. You can actually put this in a smaller bottle too. So if you want to put it in a 1 ounce, that's perfect. You can do that. It makes it a little bit more portable when you're on the go. So whatever works for you, you can do that. And to make this is under $1. Okay, so quick, easy, cost you $1, no problem. The next thing I'm going to make is wood polish. Wood polish is, they say you should polish your furniture every few months and dust in between. So we spend a ton of money on our furniture sometimes, and it needs to be taken care of, especially here where it's humid. But I have some furniture that is my mother-in-law, was my mother-in-law's, mine now, but I guard it with my life. So I take very good care of it. So in this is a 1/4 cup of olive oil and a 1/4 cup of vinegar. And what you're going to do is you're going to put 10 drops of any oil in, like wild orange, arborvitae, or lemon. Wild orange and lemon are great on furniture. So is arborvitae. So we're going to use the arborvitae tonight. Arborvitae is actually called the tree of life. It was used by Native Americans, and they used it to make clothing, baskets. They used it for health benefits. They made totem poles out of it and vessels out of it. So it's some pretty substantially strong wood to do all those things. So I already had the olive oil in there and the vinegar. And then again, a good shake. And you're going to end up with this cloudy mixture. And it's supposed to be that way. You just have to shake it before you use it. Oh, and that actually smells really good. Arborvitae has a really, really woody, down to earth smell. I love tree oils. They're just, I don't know. I just love them. They just float my boat. So I do recommend people with these things, especially in the kitchen and with a wood product, to try them on a spot that you can't see first, just to make sure there's no reaction. In the kitchen, we have like, oh my gosh, we have granite, quartz, man-made, natural, this, that. We have a lot of surfaces. And the same thing with wood. Wood can be very different depending on its age, where it's made, if it's a laminate, if it's a solid wood, a hardwood, a softwood. So I always recommend that people try a spot first. It doesn't hurt to do that. It's super simple to do. So foaming hand soap. This is awesome to make. And it's so simple. It's actually 2 tablespoons of unscented liquid Castile soap. And this is what liquid Castile soap looks like. I actually use the Dr. Bronner's. I think it's the best one out there. I use the 18-in-1 baby unscented pure Castile soap. You can get smaller ones. I just have a big one because I use a lot of it. And then you use 1 tablespoon of fractionated coconut oil, which I've already put in there, 10 drops of your favorite essential oil, and water. And let's see, what can we put in this one? Let's put lemon in. The lemon wants to come out. So I'm going to put 10 drops of lemon in there. Actually, I'm going to put a couple more in there because I really like lemon a lot. And then you're going to fill the rest with water, but you have to remember to leave a little room because there is a tiny little, I'll show you, extension on this that actually is what puts air in there to make it be bubbly and foaming. So I'm going to put that in there and I'm going to shake it up really well. Sometimes you do a little bit more shaking than not. And then let's put that on up. And you got to pump it to get the air out of it because it gets air into the, and you can see I pumped foam into my hand. Ooh. So with this, what I like about doing this one is that you can make the best smelling soaps. You know how you go into those bathrooms in the really nice hotels and they have these, fancy schmancy smelling soaps, or the spas and they have them. You can make these yourself and it costs pennies to make. I mean, it's totally cheap to make this stuff, and you can experiment with it. You could put peppermint and eucalyptus in there together, 5 drops of each. You could use all lemon. You could use half lemon, half orange. Just play with it and have fun. Depending on the oils you use, it costs about $1.60 for 10 ounces, which is about 16 cents. And the big box brand was up, the cheap generic one, 19.6 cents an ounce. But I was shocked when I found some of the name brands were up to 40 cents an ounce for foaming hand soap. I was like, wow, that's craziness. So your skin actually is the largest organ in your body, and it absorbs everything we put on it. So why not use the healthy, safe alternative if it's at the same price or even a little bit less? It's just for a little bit of your time. I'm telling you, once you start doing this with your hand soap, you won't stop. It's the best. I put Siberian fir alone in mine. Again, the tree oil, go figure. It smells so good and it's clean. You smell and your hands smell great when you're done. So the last thing I'm going to make is a linen spray or an air spray. It's actually a cup of distilled water and a tablespoon of witch hazel. And I am going to put 8 drops of lavender in it. Lavender is my go-to. I love lavender. Lavender is one of the reasons I came to doTERRA, and I love it. It's actually called the Swiss Army knife of oils because it does so many things. So once I do that, again, I'm going to put that on tight. Do a good job of shaking it. Make sure it's on spray. Oh man, that smells good. Lavender is one of the oils that has a calming effect. So to spray this on your sheets before you sleep at night would be a great thing. Or you can just use it in your air in the house, especially if you have kids. This would be great. They've had a really hyper day. Spray this around. It'll calm them down. It comes on adults too. It works for me. Yeah. So that's that one. You could also use other ones in it. You can use Roman chamomile in there. Or Serenity. That would be more expensive. I just use the basic lavender, but the others work just as well and they smell great. So this one is about $1.26 for 8 ounces to make for the lavender and the witch hazel and the distilled water. So the chemical laden versions are a little bit over 12 cents an ounce. So this is a little bit more expensive to make, but again, I'm using the cheapest one. I'm not using a name brand one. So, but again, you know what's going into it, and you're not breathing in toxic chemicals. So that's why I like making that one. So one of the many things that I like about doing this, and I think about this a lot, is that it can be a total learning experience, especially if you have kids or grandkids. I mean, they could read this recipe to you. There's a reading, they practice reading. They can measure the ingredients, fractions, math. Just doing this with you, it's one of those things that, you're teaching the child responsibility to the earth, but to themselves as well. And I think that's a great thing, and it will be a great memory to establish with kids. I lost my father a few years ago, and some of the simplest things that I did with him, I remember to this day, and they're very important to me, like picking tomatoes. I mean, you think about that, why would that be so important? But it is, we did it all the time. And that's what one of these things can do. It can be a bonding experience and memories that your child has of doing things with you, which is really important to their development and later on in their life as well. So that's my presentation for this evening. And I thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And thank you.